I'd love to have life insurance, but I just can't afford it. I hear this all the time, and it breaks my heart because most people wildly overestimate the cost of life insurance. If you're one of those folks thinking life insurance is a luxury or just too expensive, this segment is especially for you. Let's bust that myth with some real numbers and examples, so you can see that protecting your family might be a lot more affordable than you think. First, here's a reality check. About 72% of Americans think life insurance costs 3 times more than it actually does. It's one of the most common misconceptions. I'll give you a classic example from a recent industry study. People were asked to guess the annual cost of a $250,000 term life policy for a healthy 30-year-old. Over half of the respondents guessed it would cost $500 per year or more, but the real average cost is more like $170 per year. That's around $14 a month, literally the cost of a large pizza or a few fancy coffees. So if you're picturing life insurance premiums as this huge bill, think again. For many, it can be under $1 a day. Let me share a couple of quick stories from clients. I'll keep their names private. A young couple in their early 30s with 2 kids came to me thinking they'd need to carve out a huge chunk of their budget for life insurance. They assumed it might be $100 or more per month. We ran the numbers and found that a $500,000 20-year term policy for the husband was about $35 a month, and a $300,000 policy for the wife was under 30 was younger. Combined, that's $65 a month for significant coverage for both of them. They were honestly shocked. They said, wait, for about $2 a day total, we can protect our kids' future? Why didn't we do this earlier? Exactly. They immediately set aside some funds. They decided to eat out one less time per month to cover it, and felt huge relief knowing their family was protected. Here's one last story with the same peace of mind. A single mom in her 40s assumed life insurance was out of reach for her budget. We tailored a smaller policy for her, $100,000 for a 15-year term, just enough to cover her mortgage and final expenses. It came out to around $25 per month because she was in good health. When I told her the rate, she actually asked, "Are you sure that's correct?" I showed her the breakdown and she was thrilled. She said it was about the same as her monthly streaming subscriptions combined, something she could manage. For her, $25 a month bought peace of mind that her teenage son would be able to stay in their home if anything happened to her. Now, you might be thinking, sure, it's cheap if you're young and healthy, but what if I'm older or have health issues? It's true that costs go up with age or medical conditions, but there are often still affordable options. And even a smaller policy is better than nothing. Also, many people in their 50s and 60s overestimate costs too. There are policies designed for seniors, for example, final expense policies, that can be quite reasonable, sometimes a few dozen dollars a month, to cover funeral costs and such. Another point, different types of life insurance have different costs. Term life insurance, coverage for a set term like 10, 20, or 30 years, tends to be very affordable, especially for higher face amounts. Whole life or universal life, permanent coverage, is pricier because it lasts for life and can build cash value. But even those can be budgeted for if they fit your needs. If your main concern is budget and getting the most coverage for the least money, term life is usually the way to go. Think of it as renting life insurance during the years you need it most. Let's throw in a quick comparison for fun. Are you a coffee lover? If you buy a fancy latte even a couple times a week, you're probably spending $30 to $50 a month on coffee. Or consider your Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, etc. Those might add up to $40+ a month. A life insurance policy can cost about the same or less than those little monthly expenses. The difference is, a Netflix subscription doesn't take care of your family if something happens to you. Life insurance does. One more statistic for you. The number one reason people give for not purchasing life insurance is the assumption that it's too expensive. Yet year after year, surveys show that consumers haven't actually checked the prices. It's a gut guess. And more than half admit their estimates are just guesses, not based on any real quotes. If that's you, I encourage you to get an actual quote. You might be pleasantly surprised, or at least you'll know the real cost and can plan for it. In summary, don't let cost misconceptions stop you from protecting your family. Life insurance can be extremely cost-effective. For the price of a lunch out, you could probably get a policy in place. Protecting your loved ones financially is not a luxury reserved for the rich. It's an achievable goal for most people. The key is to determine what amount of coverage you truly need and what fits in your budget. There's policies of all sizes. You can start small and add more later if needed. The important part is to have something rather than nothing. If you've been avoiding life insurance because you think it's too expensive, do yourself a favor. Get a quote. In fact, I'll challenge you. Take 5 minutes to use the free quote tool on crockerfinancial.online. Link in description. See for yourself what the cost might be. You might discover you can get a solid policy for less than your weekly gas or grocery extras. Don't let assumptions rob your family of security. Check the numbers. You'll be glad you did when you realize peace of mind fits right into your budget.